Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the podcast mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am, of course, your host with the most, Phil Better, and today I am happy to have someone who I've been following for the last 2 years now in my journey as a digital entrepreneur, Mr. Chris Williams from Group Coaching Nation. He is the guy you want to talk to for launching and scaling your high ticket masterminds. Chris, thank you so much for being a guest on the show.
Phil, I am super excited to be here. This really is fun. And as you know, for those of you looking at this, not listening, I'm sitting in my in-laws game room. In fact, I'll show you, there's a foosball table right next to me. So in a minute, Phil and I are going to have a little match. We're going to, dude, your intro, that countdown thing.
Yeah.
So freaking cool sounding.
Yeah.
I thought I was going into the Hunger Games. I was kind of nervous.
Yeah, no, I truth be told, I got it off Fiverr. I was like, I'm not good enough for animating in this. And I know it's probably some guy has a stock footage of thousands of different ways of doing countdowns or whatever he needs to be in that circle. But I love it. It gives a good energy before the show starts. So you're pumped to go.
And okay, so for those of you who haven't been on Fiverr yet, I know, Phil, I'm taking over your show.
It's fine. That's the object of the show. Yes, you're the guest, you win.
Right. You have a show, so somebody else can do it for you. You got to go to Fiverr, all you folks. You Phil fans out there, you got to go to Fiverr. The first time I ever got exposed to Fiverr was 4 years ago. And I was trying to have Kermit the Frog sing happy birthday to one of my friends. This is a joke. And somebody's like, Fiverr.com, I promise you they have that. And sure enough, I got Kermit the Frog's voice singing happy birthday to one of my friends. You got to go to Fiverr.com and dream of the stupidest thing you can think of. And I promise you, somebody's doing it.
Yeah, there's someone out there willing to do it for you. Fiverr is,
I love it.
It's the greatest place where you can start your entrepreneurial journey as a freelancer to finding things like singing Kermit the Frog happy birthday to one of your friends. But Chris, let's get you introduced. So please just introduce yourself to my audience so that they can know a bit more about you.
So I'm a pretty simple guy. I don't work a ton. And what I do is teach experts how to build high ticket masterminds. The reason I don't work a ton is because it doesn't take that long to actually run high ticket masterminds. So that's what I do as well. So that's me in a nutshell. I got 5 kids. We travel a bunch. We enjoy life. And that's me. I'm pretty straightforward.
You're living the life.
And I'm sitting in my in-laws game room.
You're sitting. Well, first of all, you're sitting in your game room, your in-laws game room, which means you have awesome in-laws.
I'm not just mooching. My internet at my house is down, so this is the best way Phil and I can connect today.
Yes, you mentioned before, but you were happy because the guys are there to fix it, so you'll be able to go back and not too mooch. You got to let them, run an interview in your place as compensation.
I just hear all your listeners no wonder you travel and don't work a lot, Chris, because you're mooching off your in-laws. Yeah, we get that. I know how it works.
With the 5 kids just coming. I bet they love having the 5 kids there all the time. Chris, how did you get started? How did you get started in the world of being a digital entrepreneur? Were you always an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so let's take it back a few steps. When I was 11, I borrowed my neighbor's lawnmower in exchange for cutting their grass for a full summer. I got the lawnmower, they got the grass cut for free. I just got to keep the lawnmower at my house, which meant, I figured this out early, that if I had a system to leverage, I could cut more grass without having to pay for a lawnmower because I couldn't afford a lawnmower. Mm-hmm. So I bought, by bartering, a system, a lawnmower. Something clicked for me when I was 11 or 12. When I was 14, I hired my first driver because I needed to expand my territory. And when I was 21, I sold a lawn company with 3 crews. And that wasn't digital entrepreneurship, but it was leverage. And then in my early 20s, I started realizing, oh my gosh, I need to quit being the guy who's doing this over and over and over and start being the guy who figures out something. I didn't care what it was, but something that would allow me to sit at a coffee shop or sit on a beach or skateboard or paddleboard and make money, right? The dream. We all have the dream. But, here I am a while later with a lot of stupid failures behind me, and it's working. It didn't work right away. But anybody trying to figure this out, I promise you the opportunity's there. Just be patient and find it for you.
No, that's true. I have already in my short span, I have a few failures behind me, but it's all learning. It's all learning. And that's what you did. You learned to get to where you go. Failures are not to look frowned upon. It's where can you learn? What's the lesson you can learn? Look at Elon, how many failures he had with just SpaceX. Like they were on the verge of bankruptcy and they got a success finally. So you never know if the next one's going to be the big one. So why did you start? Like you said, at 11 years old, you leveraged the fact that you would cut someone's lawn for free for using their lawnmower to build your lawn empire when you're young. Why did you want to do that? Like, what was there something? Was there a book you read? Was there something that you saw that just was like, you know what, this is where I want to be. I don't want to work for someone else.
I think I was born that way. And like, let's lean on a Pink song for that one. I love Pink. She's so great. Jill took me to one of her concerts right before the pandemic. She's super fun and show. And she has that song, Born This Way. All of us as entrepreneurs are kind of weird. And if you're like not an entrepreneur yet in the digital marketing space or digital whatever entrepreneur space, and you're thinking about it and you're like, I don't think I fit in the corporate space, or you're already doing it and none of your friends or family when you're out at a party are like even catching on to what you do. They can't get their head around. I get it. Like, we're different. And when you're that way, you got to go find your place. And that was happening for me early on. And I'm kind of really glad it did. Because it gave me a chance to practice when the stakes were pretty low versus when you already got a mortgage and 5 kids to pay for. So, like, find your place and don't be embarrassed about being an entrepreneur, being a digital entrepreneur, or more like readily for you and me, Phil. I mean, we experienced this. Mm-hmm. Don't be embarrassed for telling your colleagues, your friends, your family that you're starting something again. And the past 4 things you tried, you changed your mind on. That's what freaks people out. But that's the journey, and it's okay to be that way.
It's 100%. We're getting wisdoms here. This is a mastermind in of itself. That's why I love podcasts. They're just masterminds.
Right? Podcasting's the best.
So I want to talk about 1 or 2 of your failures that you've had before you launched your current one, the Group Coach Nation. What were some of maybe a lesson that you learned that like really expanded on, like just took you to the next level, like made you as a person, but also as a business person to the next level? Was there like a failure, if you will, or a learning opportunity that happened?
Yeah. So again, I'm an entrepreneur, so I've been doing lots of things. And when 2011, I sold a financial advisory firm that I had built. Again, entrepreneur, right? Love doing things. So we sold that. We did well. And then I started a marketing agency working with surgeons and subspecialties, bringing them high ticket cash pay patients. We still own that. But I went from working like 20 hours a week in my financial advisory firm to working like 16 hours a day, hustling, building a digital marketing agency. And I knew what I was doing from a business standpoint. I was hiring the right team members. I was doing, but I was hustle. And I kind of lost my center as an entrepreneur, the person I know I am. I love systems and I love building teams. I love delegating. I love making things efficient. I lost my center on that. So I remember raking leaves in the backyard, and it was late on a Friday afternoon. I'd taken like a partial day off just to like clear my head. Raking leaves was something I could do. I'm ADHD. I need to move to think, right?
Yeah.
So Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek. There I was listening to the book that we all know is a huge farce. And oh my gosh, I listened to it the first time. I was like, this is pretty badass cool. Is this possible? And then the second time I listened to it, the next day, I diagrammed. I did like a mind map. And I thought, I'm going to do everything this idiot Tim Ferriss says to do. Because why not? Like,
you have to lose. Like,
I'm dying over here. Yeah. I got 5 kids. I'm missing their childhood. 4 months later, I had quadrupled my income and I was working 4 hours a day. A month or 2 after that, probably about 2 months, I was working about 2 or 3 hours a week. I wasn't trying to increase my income. I was just trying to work less, but my income went up. So all that to say, Tim, I know you're listening. Thank you. For the rest of us who've read 4-Hour Workweek and then tossed it, go pick it up again and do what it says to do, because you can get your life back. And Phil, that was the moment when I realized, oh my gosh, something just changed for me in a really significant way. And I started living. We started traveling. I started experiencing life as a 30-something with success and time like a retired person. It was super cool. And that was a big change for me.
That's huge. That's massive. That's where I want to go. That's where I'm heading. I'm going to take your advice. Reread the 4 Hour Work Week, because I can remember bits of it, and I was like, oh, can it work? But like you said, you went from 16-hour days
16
to 16. Jesus, that's insane.
to 20-hour weeks in 4 months. Okay, so let's take it a step farther, because now I teach people how to build masterminds, right? Let's kind of work through that progression, because we're all entrepreneurs here. What's the progression look like? So I was doing that. All of a sudden I was working a lot less. We were traveling. Like, we got, again, Jill and I have 5 kids. So all of a sudden we're taking, extended summer vacations. They get out of school, we're gone. Mm-hmm. We're working our way down in California, learning how to surf. We're going overseas. We're spending a month just wandering around Europe, like just carefree, right?
Yeah.
And people are starting to ask, like, that Noah's like, what's going on? Either you won the lottery, or like you're selling drugs and it's going really well for you. We're super glad for you, or something.
Can you share the secrets?
Yeah.
Like, how you doing this?
So I started having people wanting to pay me to teach them basically how to do what I learned from the 4 Hour Work Week. Okay. As an entrepreneur, I realized, oh, you're willing to buy me lunch to learn this. What if I charge you $90 and lunch? What if I charge you $500 and lunch? And I started doing that. And then all of a sudden I was working more, because I was teaching people how to do this stuff, right? One-on-one consulting. Then I realized, oh my gosh, I should turn this into an e-course. I should freaking sell how to build a digital agency in less than 4 hours a week, or something like that. Okay. The e-course dream, the money tree, the one we've all gone after. Okay. I created 5 e-courses. I had a team, a digital marketing team. Don't know how much I spent in staff time. I know I spent over $100K in ads alone, let alone funnels and everything else.
Jesus.
And I sold 1 e-course, one. $2,000. It was $19.97. I still think it was Jill buying it just to make me feel better under like that. Because the person who bought it never even opened it or logged in, right?
Oh God, yeah. Fully, she was like, "Oh, Chris is feeling bad. Purchase."
Oh my gosh.
And then she's like, "Yeah, honey, can I have $2,000, please?"
Yeah. If you see something on the credit card, don't worry about it. So okay, a couple of years into this, I'm like, this is crazy. So one of my team members, Kimberly, she recommended. She's like, Chris, we're using this program called Clickfunnels. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. And we're tinkering with it, building a few things out as a team. They got this conference. It's in Nashville. It's, not far away from your house. Go see it. So I went to a Clickfunnels conference, and I knew some people who were in one of Russell's very top tier masterminds. Mm-hmm. And I skipped the line and just leaned on some friends and got into Russell's mastermind that actually meets with Russell in Boise. And I was sitting in there for the first time, and like 45 minutes in, we're passing the microphone around, and they're saying, okay, everybody introduce yourself. What's going on? Why you're here? I told them what I just told you. And the first thing they said to me was, oh my gosh, we would love to learn how to not work all those hours. It's like, cool. I just need to figure out a way to sell you that information. So I'm building e-courses. They're like, well, how's the mastermind? It's going great, guys. Y'all are all amazing. First 45 minutes are great. No, Chris, how's your mastermind? Like, guys, I don't have a mastermind. I'm selling e-courses with a funnel, running ads like all of you.
Yeah.
That's why we're here, right? They're like, oh, dude, no, you got to start at the top. You build the mastermind first. Confirm your offer organically, get paid a ton of money for doing that, and then build everything else that flows down from the mastermind. Holy, sorry, we're keeping this family friendly. Holy whatever. Like, I wish I had known that earlier. 7 weeks later, I had a mastermind full.
Jesus.
And since then, like, it's just been gangbusters. You freaking got to start building your info sales model with the top rung of the ladder first. Yes, we think we go from bottom up because we see people like, you got to bring clients in here, then here, then here. But truly, when you're selling it, it sells that way. But when you're building it, you start at the top and offer it to 10 people. Get 10 people in your first mastermind and get paid to build everything else the right way.
It's true. That Yeah, I'm learning that slowly now. I have a mastermind actually that I run for podcasters, helping them grow it, and it's meeting tonight. But yeah, it's you build that, get the testimonials, get that credibility, that authority, and then it goes downwards
Yeah. I mean,
into
think
the.
about it, all you folks who are Phil fans, listen to Phil like right now. He's got a mastermind that teaches you all about the podcasting model, like build, launch, the whole thing. Like, why waste your
Mhm.
time? Okay. Think about this for just a second. You could buy for, I'm just going to make a number up here, for $200, $197, you could buy a checklist and maybe a couple video series from Phil to learn something that'll help you. Great. And then you're going to go try to make it your own, and you're going to bang your head against the wall, and you're going to wish you had just not wasted the next 100 hours of your life hassling with even more details when you could have paid Phil, let's just pick a number, $10,000 to just get it done. Because I promise you, Phil's expertise is worth 10 grand. And what's more important is the 100 hours, the 6 months, the year that you give up trying to do this on your own cost you way more than $100,000. Your time, your skill set, your opportunity is worth money. So join a freaking mastermind from a person you trust and just get to the end of the line. Like, get it over with. That's the beauty of this. Just get it done with, right?
Yeah, and then the benefit of a mastermind as well is that you have the expertise of other people's who are just as experts in their fields. They're sharing their knowledge with you and making those connections because it's a huge networking opportunity as well.
Yeah, it is. Phil, I'm a person who believes in good therapy. Been in some residential settings and some one-on-one therapy sessions and group, once a week group sessions, and 12-step programs. And my first time in a group therapy session was before I built my first mastermind, but it was I was already starting to get programmed to this. I was like a few days into a residential setting, and I was asking a therapist there, I was like, I think I and like half the people here have just maybe like changed like a year's worth of one-on-one therapy in the past 3 days. What's going on? They're like, oh, that's a really common misconception. People think that one-on-one coaching sessions, therapy sessions, whatever sessions are the best, but it's actually groups. Humans learn in groups 5 times faster and make changes 5 times faster in groups than they do one-on-one. So the best thing all of us can offer our audiences is a chance to do that with their peers, even more than just with us by ourselves.
I got nothing to say. Like this is just like my brain is overloaded with like knowledge from Chris, and that's what I usually feel when I'm watching some of your videos when you go live in your group, because you just provide so much great knowledge, and you're hitting us with so much value already in this episode. I don't even want to ask you for a tip. Usually, I ask for a tip, and you've already provided us with like a year's worth of tips in the last 18 minutes. I I want to know a favorite moment, like in your whole journey. I know you mentioned one a little earlier, but something for you that like just solidified the fact that this is why you do you that's this is why you're an entrepreneur.
Hmm. I have one tattoo, Phil. It's written on the inside of my left arm here. It says free. FREE. There's no period at the end of that word, and the last E is blue, like sky blue. It just means free. We've all had our stories in life, our trauma growing up, our bad or good choices as we've developed, and relationships been out of businesses, whatever. We've all got our stories. I just want freedom. And for me, like not just choosing my own personal health choices or relationship choices or whatever, but for me, for most of us, what we spend most of our brain power on day in, day out is what we do for a vocation, a living, a career, whatever you want to call it. And I want freedom in my career also. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. I can't imagine working for someone else. It sounds like prison to me. And being an entrepreneur isn't all roses. We all know that. There's thorns on these roses. But the skill set is learning to pick the roses and not get pricked by the thorns. And that takes a little practice, but you'll get it. And that's freedom to me.
Damn. Yeah. That is that 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 is freedom. That is what you get from it. You get hurt when you first start because, like you said, using the rose and the thorn, you don't know how to pick it, but later on you learn, get the tools to grab it. You get the gloves and you get the proper snips and clips, and that's just niching down. You learn because you try and go from the top and you just learn how to niche down. That's the tool sets you get, and then before you know it, you're the expert teaching 25K masterminds on how to get that high ticket mastermind lifestyle.
I think, Phil, you're a really great example of that whole thing. You've obviously mastered the art of podcasting, and that's an art. And it's not just an art like as in we threw some paint on the wall and call it art. It's actually a craft that doesn't just happen because you buy a Blue Yeti on Amazon. It happens because you practice communication. You understand the technology, you understand how to market it, you understand how to actually get good interviews. You know how to have a conversation like this that a lot of people are really bad at. This is something that you've learned to do. You've learned to transfer it to others so they can quickly succeed. And everybody listening right now, all of you, like, think about who you are right now. You're in the grocery store walking, you're driving, you're out walking the dog, you're sitting on the couch, wherever you are right now. Think about what it is that people around you ask you about. What do they ask you about? They say, oh my gosh, that's so cool you did that. Or wow, you cracked the code on this. Or wow, you figured this out. You can change people's lives with that. You could build a podcast. You could build a mastermind. You could start a one-on-one consulting gig. You can change people's lives. And that's so meaningful. It creates freedom for you and others. I can't think of a better thing to be doing.
No, and what I love of what you're saying, it's something I was listening to Russell Brunson's book, Expert Secrets, and how he says you have a gift as an expert. You have to give that away. You have to give them your expertise, because if keeping it, it's so selfish. And just like you're saying, you're kind of like in another way saying the same thing. If you're asked for something, you have to give it away and help people. Yeah, you can charge for it, but you have to teach people how you do it, because everybody deserves freedom. Everybody deserves to do what they enjoy doing, be it working 9 to 5 or, traveling the world with your family and giving your kids this opportunity to be well-rounded individuals so early in their life.
You just said something about getting paid for what you're good at. I just want to harp on that for a second. Man, that's such an important thing. And I want everybody listening or watching in right now to really catch that. What Phil said is super important. Your expertise, your skill set, whatever it is you bring to the world, you think that that's not super valuable because it came to you. You might have worked really hard to get there, and you might realize it took you 10 years to figure it out or whatever. But you are genetically wired to get that problem solved. That's you. You also had the right opportunity and skill set in front of you to get it solved. Cool. But you're 1 in 1,000. The other 999 who want to know how to do what you do don't know how to do what you do. They don't have your genetic code. They didn't figure it out the same way you did. So what you've done, even though it seems like today it might be not a big deal and easy because you're already good at it, it's extremely difficult for a new person to learn. They will pay you, they should pay you, and you should help them, and you should be valued for taking them from where they are now and helping them skip a year or 10 years of hard work. Because just like I said a minute ago, for you, your time, the next year, 10 years, whatever, is worth so much more money than paying someone to help you. Same for them. You're going to launch them into success. I don't want to figure out how to build a SpaceX rocket. All I want to do is pay Elon for a seat, because I do want to go up there.
Same here. That's my goal. I love that we have that same goal.
Yeah. Why do I go? You and I, Phil, should not go build rockets. We'll spend our life failing, but a guy's already got a rocket. And folks, if you're the person with the rocket in your neighborhood, invite people on there, sell them a ticket, and take off.
Yeah. I love it. Chris, just before we wrap up, my one question I love asking entrepreneurs, because I'm a voracious book eater. I love reading books. They just, books are the knowledge that are still secret. I don't understand why people don't read books or listen to books on Audible. Apart from the 4-Hour Work Week, from that sham of a human being, Tim Ferriss, this man who lied to us. What book do you suggest for beginner entrepreneurs, people who are thinking about jumping into the entrepreneurial world?
That's a good one for people jumping into the entrepreneurial world. I would read Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh. He's the guy who started Amazon Shoes.
Okay.
Sorry, Zappos. Zappos sold it to Amazon. There you go. He started Zappos, sold to Amazon for a little over $1 billion. Now,
Oh, just a small $1 billion, just a small billion. Yeah.
I was holding my phone. We're talking about this because I'm like scrolling through Amazon. I mean, I'm an Audible
I love
used to
Audible.
love it. So the reason I recommend that one is because Tony, he's passed away now. He's got his pros and cons in his life. By the way, any of us that read a book and we're like, yeah, but that business person had some flaws here or there. Heck yeah, just like me and you, right?
Okay. Everybody has flaws.
Oh man. So, but he does a really good job about explaining culture building in an organization. And he's really fun and it's energetic and you can take what you want to take from that book, but learning how to build a culture, not just with your team members, which he talks a lot about, but with your clients, which he talks a lot about, is such a big thing. Delivering a really fun, happy, transformational culture. He does a great job at lining that out so you can see the steps to take. I would start there. Tony Hsieh, Delivering Happiness.
Love it. All right, Chris, I'm going to jump off the screen here. I want you to let my audience know where they can follow you, how they can support you, and all that fun stuff. So the floor is yours, sir.
Awesome, guys. So good to see everybody. It didn't feel great. Oh, by the way, okay. Lean into Phil if you're trying to figure out the podcasting thing. Not my jam. He's a rock star at this thing. If you want to know about building your own mastermind, groupcoachnation.com. You can Google Group Coach Nation. You can go to groupcoachnation.com. We have a beginner, advanced, and pro section set up so you can kind of find out who you are and where you are in that whole space, where you should start. And we got free steps for you to take from there going forward. We don't even ask for your email address. We just want you doing work to get results. Just do the right work. Don't go down the wrong path. Start the right way at groupcoachnation.com.
Whoop. Hold on. There we go. Get you back on the screen there. Thank you so much, Chris. To my audience, of course, in the show notes, you will find all the links to Chris's stuff so you can follow him and start learning how to get the right start to your world and to your mastermind so you can make it a high ticket and you get paid for your knowledge. And I want to thank Chris again for being a guest, and I want to thank your in-laws for allowing you to use your game room. So please pass on my thanks to your in-laws for being so awesome to let you use their game room for this interview. I can't thank you enough, and I'm looking forward to one day joining your mastermind and taking my masterminds to the next level.
Dude, love to have you. Everybody, it's so great to see you. Have fun and keep leaning on Phil. He's obviously your guy. You're listening to him. Keep leaning in and getting the advice you need.
Excellent. And remember, everybody, to invest in yourself.